Pals. Welcome back to the Mel K Show. I'm Mel here in Manhattan, New York, with my partner Rob Reilly. How you doing, Rob?
I'm great, Mel. I'm actually feeling a whole lot better than I was about a day and a half ago. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a lot more calm. I feel like I've had a little bit of time to digest all this information. It's kind of been a recentering, a lot of breathing and just maybe taking a little time for myself. But it's been good, and we're ready to get back on the horse.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's been rough. I never went about any of this for any other reason except for to express my opinion. I'm a big researcher and I like research and facts and all that. And I've tried to put myself out there. I was a little surprised and disappointed in the aftermath of the inauguration, maybe, whatever that was, the Epstein Island Spirit Cooking Reunion show event. People kind of were attacking the messengers and all of us, and that I'm, working with and really believe in and love. And you know what? It's there is no end to a fight between good and evil, between what is right and what is wrong. And right now we are in a situation where everything seems to be inverted and upside down, as is the puppet master's plans. But I feel pretty okay about it, mainly because we went to DC and I saw what was there and what was going on. And I have faith that the military is in control, despite what the fake media and everything's showing us. I still have a lot of faith in God, country, and in our and in Trump. So I'm just chilling,
Yeah.
waiting, watching what's happening, and with shock and awe.
Well, I think we're over the target because we have seen a massive uptick in censorship and the full-on attack by media and the trolls. It was really bad right after the that whatever it was, the election thing. And I wanted to read something that I wrote actually where we were sitting after all this went down. We were sitting that evening, and it just kind of came out of me. And it was something I like. I felt like I wanted to say to everyone, but it was a really emotional time. But let me read what I said. So I said, "Dear Patriot pals, this has been quite a day, and I expect we're all feeling quite let down, and without a good frame of reference. I think it's an important time to step back and understand what we're undertaking and what the real stakes are and that are on the table. This is an extraordinary mission that we're all on. And the mission, in my opinion, is to reclaim our basic human rights. We are all looking for answers now. And what is clear to me is that at this point, we may not find them looking outside at clues, data points, and God forbid the news. I believe we must look inwards to our faith and our heart and our belief in good and calibrate our moral compass and move from there. We must act as patriots, and we must continue in a way that we will be proud of. We must hold the line, trust in what we know in our heart and in our discernment, and move forward in a way that we will always be proud, the way of light, the way it was intended." And that's how I was
That's
feeling at that
nice.
moment.
Yeah. I had a real hard day, mainly because the trolls and demons came out, and a lot of people I thought were fighting for good and trying to expose the truth about everything, because nobody can take away the facts, the evidence, the things that we do know are true and are happening. There's a lot of unknowns. Trump has been unusually vague in his stuff, even though he says things that I can pick out. Nobody's heard from General Flynn, which is surprising to me at this point. I think we need a smoke signal. But I have heard from a lot of people that are resolute, that do that, as we discussed the other day on our show, are of the same line of thinking, that we're in a continuation of government phase, and that FEMA and the military are on top of it. I did hear that they're not allowing Biden's people into the Pentagon, which, if that is true, that lines up with that. And the National Guard are still surrounding the parcel that is the District of Columbia, which is the United States defunct bankrupt corporation. So, I have a lot of hope. I didn't for 24 hours. I just thought, oh my. But you know what I'm seeing now is, as I've been saying for 3 years, the goal is, I believe, that Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, because of whatever greed, blackmail, bribery, or ideology, our entire government, many on both sides, mostly Democrat liberals, but there's a lot of Republicans involved, have been and will be um, controlled and blackmailed, and by the central bank cabal that I believe with the CCP is pushing towards this one world order. And now I see Joe Biden, putting the head of the horrific refugee program that has is like a human trafficking, child trafficking operation from the UN, is now going to be on our border, and that he's putting a bust of Cesar Chavez in the White House
That's
behind him.
that's insane. I can
He replaced Churchill with Cesar Chavez in the White House, which apparently just got a parking lot right behind it because the window shades are open and there's some cars parked behind him in the Oval Office. But hey, that's maybe, not, I don't know. And then he also is rejoining the Paris Climate Accords, which is a theft of our taxpayer dollars to put into basically a slush fund that has no goals and America pays for. He ended the Keystone Pipeline, which, our oil dependence was finally achieved and we were doing great and oil prices were low. But of course, he's invested in Uranium One and Burisma, who are oil and gas companies, oddly enough, but not in America, friends. And just one thing after another. Also, he's declaring war on white men, which is always fun since he is one. Figure that out. And basically, we're dealing with full-on totalitarian regime. And out there, the CCP and China are claiming that they won. They're saying, the CCP is saying that they won our election. And yet there's people in America cheering on this senile traitor, money laundering Chinese puppet. And it's really, really pathetic. But I have faith in the military. I have faith in God. And I have faith that Donald Trump and his team and the White Hats are still fully in control, because what we're watching right now is the entire turning upside down of our entire freedom and country to a communist socialist regime that is hell-bent on a one world order regime change. Having the guy at the border that runs the refugee program at the UN, as I've told everyone for a long time, to fund the police means bringing in the UN troops, which are really the one world order based out of Switzerland, honestly, the central bankers' army. And, that was the whole point of all of this. So I don't think the military and the 800 generals that have given their life and time and everything to try to put back together our, not just generals, 800 people in general. I believe that they are still in control. What do you think, Rob?
Well, I have a firm conviction that we are on the right path now. And there's certain things that we know. We know that all of these crimes were committed. And we know there was a lot of lies. Russiagate, Obamagate, the laptop from hell, Benghazi, Uranium One, Clinton play, the Ukraine, China, CCP, $1.5 billion that Hunter got. So all of
Yes,
this
all the
Iran,
scandals with
well,
with the Chinese infiltrating all of our universities and our K through 12. They have our kids, yeah,
so
and
this stuff,
yeah.
this slaps you in the face, right? It's like it's a wake up call. So what did we always want? What did we were always told that things wanted to avoid civil conflict. We want to expose the swamp creatures, drain it, and basically reclaim our land for we the people. So what I believe is happening now, in addition to tactically where the military and FEMA are in control, I do believe that. And there's a lot of data points that point to that. But I believe we're continuing. I mean, maybe we're now in the great awakening. So to really shake as many people, the masses up as possible. Because if you look at what, you know, Biden has the soldiers sleeping in a garage on the floor. And what does Trump do? He offers them a hotel. And if he doesn't have enough room in the Trump hotel,
He'll
he'll,
pay for it out of his pocket.
right.
And of course, 20 minutes after he put that out, the Congress invites back the troops. The troops turned their back on Biden. I don't know if people saw that because it was such a staged event. But you have to understand, he already is talking about going back in the Iran deal, and everything that he's doing to undo what Trump did. He's pulling out the 1776 commission to reinstate history in education, real history, American history, the truth, not the Obama administration rewrite. And he pulled that. He's going to instill social justice and probably the 1619 project into the education system. And my issue really is that we have American citizens that hated Donald Trump, so much that they saw no good in him. And they're cheering on somebody who is so clearly manipulated and a puppet. If you look back on Joe Biden's 47 years, the things he's doing right now are not consistent with who he is. He is blackmailed and controlled by a foreign nation that is communist China, and he is doing whatever they say. It's very, very clear. It's the opposite of what Trump did. The whole Russia hoax was a lie. But what really is happening is that the CCP owns America, and through Joe Biden, and he's okay with this. And I have a lot of friends out there, also people who've had people that went through communist Russia or the Holocaust or or Cuba or Venezuela, and they look at this and they cannot believe it, that American citizens are so stupid because they hated Trump's personality, or they watch CNN and MSNBC, who I think are complicit in true crimes against humanity on a multi-range level. But it's truly sad, and I hope that these people are watching what he's doing, because if they think that this is all good, all this censorship, this John Brennan comes out, he wants to round up people, including libertarians. And Joe Biden's whole speech, Chris Wallace is clapping. That was such a good speech. Meanwhile, he's talking about, like, when he talks about white supremacy, he's talking about white people. When he's talking about systematic racism, he's talking about taking people out of the workforce or whatever just because of the color of their skin. It's the opposite of everything. It's just, and it's very sad. It's very sad that we don't know our history well enough to know that this is a totalitarianism 101.
Well,
And
I think a lot of it really has to do with the programming that people have been subjected to for so very long,
right.
through so many forms of media and other things. And again, maybe we're going through a deprogramming process. I know that you had spoken to some people who have dealt with that, and
Yeah.
I believe that this exposure, and where you're kind of confronted with these diametrically opposed views, where as you waken up to it, it shows you that one versus the other, and it's very hard not to see it. But we've also been told that some people won't ever wake up. But I believe that you know this was supposed to be done by the book, and they didn't want a coup, and I think
Well,
that
also,
that's
they didn't want Donald, I think personally, the whole time, because he was asked by the military to run, and he's kind of been deferring to them, and not to the military that you're seeing on the screens, like these traders that are military industrial complex billionaires after they leave office. I'm talking about the ones that you don't know, that have been working since JFK, and many of them retired, keep working and working to try to honestly fend off communism. To me, CIA is communist in America, and they are just about at their 16-year plan to destroy America. And Trump won. They had to
well,
get Trump out, usher in this puppet,
well,
and yeah,
what did Trump say? He said his one of his main roles was to give the country back to we the people.
right,
And part of that is that we have to take personal responsibility, which is a
exactly.
lot of what we're doing. And the other part is that if we have to actually learn what we're supposed to do, which is this constitutional education, right?
Yes,
So it's an amazing crash course in how to reclaim your
yeah,
what it's supposed to be as an American. There
right.
was there was something I wanted to he's very good at using the deep state or his adversaries. He uses their actions against them, right? And
Right.
was it Kissinger who said that the ultimate goal would be for the people to beg for the UN to come in?
Yes, Kissinger said that, warmonger. extraordinaire. Kissinger said that to have the UN go into America and the one world order and take over would be impossible until there was a reason, and something like COVID and all of this and an economic crash on top of COVID, and that the only way to do it would be to have the American people beg for the UN to come in.
So here's what I see. I see a little mirror going on. I believe that we maybe we're getting pushed to the precipice. Maybe we're getting to have to be to a point where we beg. Maybe it's the military, maybe it's Trump, maybe it's another party, maybe it's just change, but we're going to be begging for that new path, which is not what we're being told all about, which
No, I
is
mean, this is what's going on right now is Chinese communism right now.
exactly.
I mean, it's been there, done that. America is not a racist country in any way. White privilege is not a real thing. There's way more white people that are in poverty than people are even admitting. It's insanity. Middle America, there's a lot of poverty and there's a lot of white poverty, and just as much. It's just honestly, he's turned they between him and Obama, and now we have all Obama's people back in there. He's putting people from the UN in the government. I think he also yesterday put in the first transgender, like it should matter, Health and Human Services Secretary. It's one of the people who put sick people in elderly homes in Pennsylvania who should be charged with some form of homicide, in my opinion, is now the head. He puts back in Fauci. He's going to refund the World Health Organization. We pretty much know, and you and I have discussed, and I've discussed with others, that the military knows that not only was that is this SARS, was it created by the NIH money at the Soros Gates joint lab with the CCP in Wuhan, but also that Obama, Fauci, and Gates went there together and gave them $3 million. And it's looking like it's coming back to that. Was this about a virus or was this about an election?
Well, we've always known what that answer is.
You and I have, but and then of course now Chicago mayor says she's got to open right away.
Yeah, everyone's opening.
Everyone's opening, and the WHO comes out and says the PCR tests give overwhelmingly false positives, as we've been saying for 7 months, because the guy who made the PCR test said that it wasn't to diagnose this. And then the biggest part that I'm realizing is most people think that this illness is called COVID. No, it's another form of flu, SARS. It's always been. What COVID stands for is Certification of Vaccine ID 19. COVID-19 is Certification of Vaccine ID 19. And now another Johns Hopkins, even though they've been involved the whole time, but there's probably good and bad in everything, like in our country. They came out and said that it's impossible that we actually had a pandemic because the death toll numbers for all of 2020 are almost identical to 2019, 2018, and 2017.
Yeah, I've been talking about that for a long time.
They shut down the whole planet, basically. Honestly, I think I've always said when Trump was saying 187 countries or the silent enemy, the invisible enemy, I always thought he was talking about the central banking cabal that owns the Fed and all the central banks and creates debt slavery. And they're sitting on $23 quadrillion while people suffer. And they're, I think their jig is up. And so that's why I'm pretty confident that also the rest of the world is not happy about this. Russia, Brazil, Mexico, Modi, a lot of people are coming out and saying America's not going to be a communist country. America, when it comes to keeping the world from despots, is they're not going to allow this. But anyway, Biden's in there doing crazy shit.
I mean, I mean, like I said, I really believe that they're going to throw everything, against the wall, and it's going to people are going to look at it and they're going to, don't forget, the media it was just reported that the media trust is at an all-time low. So I think, so maybe it's
well, they're not a media working. They're Democratic operatives and CIA agents. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying they think they're going to hide behind Obama flipping the Smith-Mundt Act on its head and turning spying against us and propaganda against us. They think they're going to hide behind that. I wouldn't be surprised if behind the scenes Trump reversed that thing. Oh, and one thing I wanted to ask you, Rob, wasn't it true that during Trump's uh presidency, he tried to undo an Obama executive order, and I believe the Supreme Court, when RBG was still alive, said that he couldn't do that. That an executive order under, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that Trump tried to undo a couple of executive orders, and he was told no, that he couldn't, that an executive order by a former president, it stands.
Yeah, technically, I don't know, but here's what I would say about that.
I
I
mean,
would say,
he's coming in
listen,
during executive orders
yeah,
like
but
he's
they're
king.
they're throwing all. There's no rules, okay?
Yeah, but
We are
the
operating in a ruleless.
rules don't matter. This is he's like behaving like a king.
We're operating in a basically at least a two-tier system, if not more. So it
Ew.
just doesn't make any sense. But I wanted to I really think there's a lot of little data points that people have been talking about the executive orders and maybe they weren't done or maybe they were done because they weren't registered. We don't know. But there's a lot of little anomalies now that, we put on our research hat and we're seeing those data points. So many things don't make sense. And as we look at some of those data points, they do make sense. I
Right.
wanted to mention that someone dropped in our Telegram group, the
Yeah.
Mel K Show group, which has been on fire. It's so much fun. We
Uh,
we don't moderate it at all, and
Yeah.
there's some really ugly trolls in there, but
Yeah.
but we can handle it. We love the dialogue, but people are dropping stuff in there, and they mentioned Monkeyworks had a video that he put out a few hours ago, and I thought it was interesting. Basically, what he was talking about was the fact that when that there was a flight from DC to Florida that was supposed to be Air Force One, but it wasn't Air Force One. It looked like it should have been the president, so maybe he wasn't traveling as the president, and then it left and went to North. I think it was
New York
Charlotte.
in North Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah, Charlotte, North Carolina, where we have a base there, and and there's no
Then it went offline.
right. So there's no air hold in
On top
around
of it.
Mar-a-Lago. So what he was saying is that the data that he was looking at is that it doesn't look like Trump is in Mar-a-Lago. He believes that based on the flight data that he saw, that he may be protected. Again, a lot of anomalies. Remember, Biden was not given a military transport to come to his
Right.
inauguration. He had to take a
He
private
flew a
plane.
private plane there, and apparently he left DC already. And I mean, we don't know about that. Yeah. So,
So
but
there's
it
so much.
he
There's so
should have been
much.
picked up by a military plane, and that he flew in private is very strange. Also, on top of that, something that really disturbed me, I don't know if everyone caught it, but and you know what I think about the Satanists and the Kabbalists and that the central bankers, the Canaanite, the whole thing. And I was very disturbed that Biden took his oath on a clandestine Bible that with an upside down cross on it. And then Kamala wouldn't even touch the Bible. She put a handbag between the Bible and her hand. To me, this was like the ultimate sign of something demonic. And then they have Epstein Island spirit cooking all-star team up there on stage singing. And I know about the Epstein Island crimes. Those people are guilty of horrific things. Epstein Island was not about trafficking teenage girls. It was about a cult, a sickening, twisted, satanic cult. And there they are up there singing the national anthem, some of the worst of the worst. And then on top of that, we got, what do we have? So we have Durham out there who's not done anything, but he might be. We don't know. I haven't heard from Flynn, which I'm not happy about. I feel like he needs to give us a smoke signal, even if it's
There was a I saw a snapshot in our
okay.
group today that was kind of like thumbs up. So we'll
Okay,
see.
I hope so. But besides all that, Uranium One, Benghazi, Libya, the color revolution in Ukraine, the money laundering in Ukraine, Burisma, Hunter Biden's laptop, Wiener's laptop, Epstein Island, Nygart's Island, Nexium. Uh, what else do we got? We got the election interference.
Oh, right. Yeah, we had an
We
election
got the
fraud.
gigantic human trafficking and child trafficking ring. We got the Rothschild bankers. We got the incredible amount of fraud committed by the Fed that they're looking into. We got Clinton pay or play. I still want to know everything about Haiti. And all this stuff is out there. And I'm telling you right now, when Trump says he has everything, he has everything.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
pretty
fully believe
excited.
that the CIA was raided last weekend. I've seen too much information, and people I really know that know what they're talking about say that that happened. If that did, bingo.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
yeah,
Bingo. All roads lead back to the CIA when it comes to the destruction of our country. The CIA was created to work against us, originally by the Pacers, then taken over by Dulles, then by probably the worst criminal we've ever seen, which is HW. And the whole goal has been communism in America, just like the UN's whole goal has been the one world government, which is basically communism of the world. So I'm just looking forward because I don't believe I love our military. I love our country, and I believe in God. And I see a war between good and evil, and I have no doubt that God and good will win this war. I just it's I'm getting a little impatient.
yes. Well, see,
But
this
it's
is
on
something.
God's
No,
time, right?
we have to be patient because this is not our timeline.
No,
Okay, we are players in this play as well, and
right.
we have to have faith. We have to have courage. We have to have conviction, but we have to let this play out in the way that it needs to. And so the best that we can do is support each other
Right.
and maybe have a great weekend. Try to
I know. You know what's
regroup.
funny, Ron? I don't know who else felt this way, but when I see, I wasn't going to watch it. The thing that I found most disturbing, because I have seen a lot of stuff from Hunter's laptop that a lot of people haven't seen, and it's horrific. And he's a serious sicko. I mean, I'm not going to say it here, but hopefully we'll find out soon. But like, you think Anthony Weiner's bad? Holy mackerel! And it's not just him, but so Hunter Biden, with what we know on his laptop in general, plus all his crack and being naked in front of his niece and all this stuff. He's walking down the thing with his sister and they're laughing and the crowd's clapping for Hunter Biden. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that's like, holy crap. And then that Lena Dunham, who somehow got a TV show at 23 and just wrote about sex and being in your 20s for 5 years, puts out a tweet from Hollywood saying Hunter that she wants to be Hunter Biden's wife. He's so handsome. This man's laptop is the most vile, disgusting. People won't even believe what's on there. It's so much worse than you think. So, like, I see that, and then I know about Lady Gaga and the spirit cooking and John Legend and all them that were all on Epstein Island, all hugging each other and stuff. And I'm thinking, what are we watching? I left there and I thought, if these people won, they're going to put me in a gulag. But the good thing is that I would be never be hired again, so I would be broke and homeless. So a gulag would be a good
Yeah,
alternative.
yeah. You got
But
three
honestly,
squares, lots of
I was walking down
exercise.
the street thinking, oh my God, this really happened. I need to go hide. Where am I going to go?
This
Where
is
am
the
I going?
thing. See, this is the thing
Scared
when
for
I
my life.
when I said in my little note that I wrote, which like understanding the stakes, right? There really is no place to hide. People don't understand that it's not a slow roll at all, but if our country were to fall, the world would fall and
The
it would go
world's not
into it,
going to
but it's
allow.
not it's not it's not happening. I want to end on a little bit on a funny note. I mean, there was a lot of little funny things that happened, but we saw that one little video where Biden was walking up and the Marines were opening the door for him, and he always gets these like little in his ear, like
Um,
what did they say?
he goes, so he obviously is in an earpiece like he always does. And this happened once on the thing. So he's walking up and the Marines are,
Yeah,
and
they didn't
it's,
salute. They didn't salute.
oh, okay. It's said in his earpiece, like he's supposed to salute the Marines. That's what they do, right? So it said in his earpiece, and he said it out loud, salute the Marines. That's like when he was reading off the teleprompter and he said, stop.
Anyway, again,
Poor
the
guy.
movie,
I don't know what's wrong with him. He is certainly not, this is not, it's sad to go out like this because everything he's saying is nothing what Joe Biden said for 47 years. He's a completely different person.
he was
And
always horrible, but
I don't know
you
if he's
know,
blackmailed. He's not
maybe
him.
maybe
Uh,
he's a great actor. Who knows?
no, he's too dumb to be a great actor. Great
Yeah.
actors, have to be smart. They can't say from their earpiece, salute the Marine, or reading the thing and be like, God bless America. Stop.
Yeah. Well, you had a busy day. You had a bunch of shows today. I know
Great
you
shows,
mentioned.
great shows. I'm trying to talk to positive people. I know everyone's hurt. I mean, I was most surprised about the trolls and the attacks. I mean, also, I get attacked for everything, and a lot of anti-Semitic stuff and all this and that. And you know what? I'm getting used to it.
But I want to say, like, we have a lot of people that when that stuff comes out that
I
really
know, I know.
support us. And I want to thank all of you for your
Oh my
support
God.
in every way, and also for kind of
Especially when
keeping.
I was like devastated.
It was really
Telegram. It was
she
like,
was in it. She was a
liar, liar,
mess.
liar. I'm like, liar. I'm just
Yeah,
sharing facts. There's still
yeah,
facts. I don't follow. I'm not in a cult. I don't follow a board. I follow the news and then I dig deeper and I tell you what I think. And I tell everyone to research for themselves. So, oh my God, so many of you that like sent nice messages on the melkshow.com and on our Telegram. Were so nice and kept me going.
yeah.
Thank
It
you so
really,
much.
it makes a
I'm
huge
very
difference.
wimpy and
Yeah,
it hurt my feelings. But you know what? I spent 15 years in Hollywood. I still am damaged, but I'm learning to be a little bit more thick skinned these days if
yeah.
I'm going to keep doing this.
We're working on it.
But
So it's Friday night,
yeah,
yeah. So everyone have a great weekend. I'm
yeah,
sure we'll pop on the weekend. Maybe this will be a quiet weekend. Maybe because people need to
got it.
regroup.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, enjoy your taste of totalitarianism. I don't think it'll last that long. Our military will not allow it.
Absolutely not.
Okay, guys, God wins. We will see you tomorrow. Sorry, I had to take a day off. I needed to regroup, but we will see you. And I love you all. Thank you for following the show. Thank you for subscribing. I don't know how long I'll be on YouTube, but I just was like, screw it. I'm going to put my stuff out there. If they get rid of me, fine.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Mel's been putting up a few new things. She put up her pacer piece out
So
there. So
yeah,
yeah.
whatever. I'm at a point where it's like, fine, they canceled this, canceled that, whatever. Just like I was on Ann Vandersteel last night, and they cut
Oh
her
my
feet
God, that was so
on
funny.
live show. And Ann's like, I am not going down. She just jumped and did another one. I'm like, oh, superhero. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. And you have no idea how much your support and kind words mean. I really believe that we are okay and that God is with us, and we are watching the destruction of the cabal and their last stand for evil. And this was never about Trump. Trump is in control, in my opinion, but it was never about Trump. It was always about you and me and our country and our God given freedoms and our freedom of religion, our freedom to live our lives unencumbered by an overreaching government. The best thing that could happen is that we're in a continuity of government phase with FEMA in control. And then when we get back on track, we start going out there in our neighborhoods and do our civic duty, because it's no longer going to be a blood sport to get involved in politics when we get Soros and Bloomberg and all that gross money out of our local communities. So anyway, that's the good news.
Yeah,
And
let's do it.
enjoy your
Have a
weekend.
great weekend,
Thanks,
Patriot
guys.
pals.
Thank you
Love
so
and
much.
light. Thank you so much.
Bye
We'll see you
bye.
soon.